Hi everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Identity Crisis. The LS build, the retro LS build that should look like a small block Chevy when I'm done. Last episode I tore off the balancer, timing cover, and showed you guys a little bit how easy these engines come apart. But I kind of dug in without explaining what I'm going to be putting into this build. So going into this, I always knew I wanted it to look like a small block Chevy because I think they're cool. And I think the LS thing is entirely overdone. If you're here watching this, I'm not really sure why, because it's been done over and over. If you just want to see the parts of me in this episode pulling the cam and the rockers, then go in the timestamp and jaunt ahead. So this build is, I'm going about it as a budget build. I went on YouTube and checked out some other builds, and people like Richard Holdner, Sloppy Mechanics, and many others have done some decent builds, making all kinds of power with budget parts, and that's the route I'm going to take because they're proven packages. So this build, the 2009 6 liter that I picked up has variable valve timing. I'll be deleting that, so there's a few parts you need to do that. First part being is a new front timing cover to get rid of the cam phaser. The other part you need is I got parts all over the place. I don't even know where they are. This is a Comp Cam's top timing gear. You can see it has 3 holes. The variable valve timing cam only has a large bolt in the center, so you'll see that in this episode. What else did I pick up? Let's show the other goodies. Here's the cam. By the way, I'll try and put down in the description the part numbers. If I haven't, because I'm lazy, then ask me in the comments and I'll get you the part numbers and any of the specs you would like. So this is the Elgin Pro Stock cam. The cam card is here. I'll also put it up here. So if you guys want to put the same thing in, this is super cheap. I think it was like, I don't know. It was dirt cheap. It was less than 200 bucks American. And it should give me decent power. The goal is to have around 450 horse at the crank, not at the rear wheels. If I can get that, I'll be happy. It's mainly a street car, so. Moving on, to put that higher lift cam in, you need stiffer springs. So I went with the Pack 12-18 springs. They're pretty nice units. Again, budget, they're cheap. So we'll compare those on a future episode. And along with the cam and springs, I got stiffer push rods. So I picked up Comp Cam's push rods. These are the magnums with thicker walls. Nice pieces. I think some people do this build without changing the push rods, but I kind of want the added security and longevity. What else can I say about this? I'm trying to do this budget wise, and on an LS you can change the cam without removing the heads. So as you follow along in the build, I'm going to show you how you can change the cam without removing the heads. To fire the coils, I picked up a MSD black series box, which I think works with both crank reluctor wheels. Now, I'm not using a stock harness because, as you saw, I'm making this look like a small block Chevy, so I'm putting a carb intake on it, which is going to be a Holly dual plane. Again, street car, not a race car. I'm going to be putting the Phytech from the big block onto it. And to make this fit in my Nova, I will be... Stupid phone. I'll be putting on a Holly oil pan. Now, the intake I ordered months and months and months ago, and I think because of COVID, nothing's been manufactured yet, and I'm still patiently waiting. That pretty much rounds out the parts you would need to duplicate the build I'm doing. Other things I'm going to have to get to make this fit into my Nova is a Holly oil pan. As well, I also picked up these eBay headers. So these are stainless steel headers. I wanted to go with a cast manifold, but I didn't want to choke down the horsepower too much, and there isn't a whole lot of options that'll fit in my engine bay. So I picked these up. You can see there's a tube going over top here, and if you drive a 3rd gen Nova or a earlier gen Camaro, you would know that the steering box gets in the way of the tubes, and I don't want to have to ding them all. So I picked these up, less than 200 bucks US. You also need to pick up some engine mounts. There's many manufacturers that make them. I bought the adapters off Amazon, and they were super cheap. I think they were like 40 bucks Canadian. Hopefully they'll put up to the abuse I'm going to send at it. So guys, without further ado, let's get at taking the rockers off and pulling the cam out, and join along for the fun. Check you later. Alright, so to get the bolt out, I had fabbed up this engine stopper, just so it wouldn't roll over. So the point of this thing right here is it goes on the back of the engine, bolts on, and it holds your flywheel from turning. And it's almost needed if you work alone all the time like myself. So now what I've done is I've got the number 1 cylinder at top dead center. See if you can see this. There is a timing mark there and a dot there. So dot to dot. I also came over, removed the number 1 spark plug, made sure it was all the way at the top of the hole. And it's hard to see in there, but you could actually see the top of the piston. So that's all the way up. And as another reference, the intake and exhaust need to be closed. So the rockers are going to be all the way up, valves will be closed. So we should be good to go just to remove that. You don't have to do that, but I want it to have an easier time when I go to put this new cam in. And I'd like to try and keep the crank in the same position, just so it's easier. So I'm going to take this. I don't have a metric socket that big, 15/16 fits tight enough, and we're going to get this bolt off. You can see here this funny plate that's on here with the notches. I believe is how the cam phaser works. Ah, oil pissing out. So this is the original timing cover, and in that timing cover you have a cam, phaser, I believe that's a solenoid. I have no idea how this works. It's some sort of voodoo. Anyways, it does stuff. It moves the cam back and forth, optimizes your fuel mileage. I've been driving a big block around. There's no such thing as fuel mileage. Well, I've already fucked up. I gotta put my stopper back on. My engine was starting to turn over, obviously. Oh, now it comes. Dirty bugger. Okay, I'm just gonna throw the stopper back on, just so this thing isn't turning over right now. See if I can get you guys a look at how I can do this one-handed. It's amazing what you can make with some cardboard from a beer box and an angle grinder. Voila! One of the reasons we have to go to a different cam sprocket is because this is a one bolt cam, I believe. And the one we're going to be going to is going to be a 3-bolt. There she is. That was pretty tight. I always have to make some sort of a mess. So I just want to get this out to show you guys. So that is one specialized bolt. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus in on that. There's holes for the oil to pass through for phasing the cam. Wow. Is that how that comes off? Oh well, let's continue. By the way, I'm not an engine guy. Phil, the other guy on this channel, Classic Drivers, he's more of an engine guy. Not necessarily an LS guy. He's never worked on one like myself either. But he's building a nice 350 small block that's going to be going into a real nice Camaro, Doug's Camaro. So that's it. That's the phaser cam gear. And it's off. And then we got these bolts that hold the cam in. But I think, yeah, I'll take those out now. Let me get some tools prepped. Alright. So the cam bolts, which are all around here, are some fancy Torx. That's a T40. So, T40, let's get it out of there. So you guys can tell me in the comments how ass backwards I'm doing this. Maybe I should have taken all the rockers off first. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Guess it doesn't really matter. This cam's coming out. So there is a gasket on this cam retainer. I'm not sure if I'll need a new one or not. Let me know. You can put that down in the comments. Alright. On this engine, I'm not going to be taking the heads off to change the cam. I'm going to be using, these are a little long, but I think these are 5/16 rods. They're made of hard plastic. And these are going to go in here to hold the lifters up from falling down. Because LS's have a plastic tray, and when you spin the cam, I believe after the rockers are off, and they'll hold up in the tray, and this is just to help keep them from falling down. So let's get those rockers off. So guys, this is a LS rocker setup, very linear. I'm going to loosen each bolt up evenly, pull this off, and maybe pull the push rods out. Poor old Samsonite over here. If you saw my last episode, the camera kept falling. I had some technical difficulties with this junker right here. It broke on me, and look at this arts and crafts fix I got going on. So the old slippy,
slappy, Swanson?
Maybe it's in the briefcase. Look on the...
Oh yeah, it's right here. Samsonite.
looks like I'm gonna have to try and find a new one. Oh Lloyd. I got her set up now. Hopefully you guys don't do a nosedive. So this is a metric, of course, 8 mil. I'm going to try with a 1/4 inch ratchet and see how that goes. Find that. Here. I'll loosen them up. This is good. I'll loosen them up. So I'm going to set it right on the box that you didn't burn them. I'm going to make it up. Doesn't matter what. I don't know. So something that's looking at somebody else probably the same. Oh, I'll show you some. That's good. All there. Back to the so now this is our bench. So clean. We're looking at rods.
Are you guys gonna all fall off of there on me? Nope, that's it. Hi guys, I'm feeling a little bit ambitious. I don't know if this will all be in the same episode. If not, well, welcome back to Classic Drivers and welcome back to Project Identity Crisis. So I got the rockers off on both sides. Sorry for the noise, I'm rolling around on a rolly chair. The cam plate is off. So I am going to be pulling this cam out with the heads left on, which is possible with an LS, and I'll show you how. So I'm just going to screw a bolt in. That's going to do two things. It's going to give me some leverage when I'm pulling it out, and it'll let me fling this around to get the lifters up into the plastic trays. Ooh, look how cool that is. All right, and I also have these plastic rods that I've chamfered on the ends. And on the LS, we have a hole here and a hole here. So, oh, this is always fun. One hand. So you're going to push that in. You shouldn't feel much resistance. All the way to the end. And now some people use wood dowels. I don't really like the thought of that because it's going to create wood shavings because they're so soft. And these are plastic, and you could even put some lube on them if you wanted to, and they would slide in just fine and dandy. So I'm going to set you guys up on my non-existent tripod because it keeps breaking, and we're gonna see if we can pull this thing out. Oh. Now if a lifter falls now, I'll be taking the heads off to fix that and probably put new lifters if I were to do that, but I'm not trying to get in that type of a situation. So I'm going to slowly pull this out, not try to ding anything up. The cam I won't be reusing, so there we go. Every time I see people do this, the clanging noise irks me, but I am being gentle. Just slowly working its way out. And there she be. There she is, guys. The cam is out in all her glory. And she don't look too bad. She don't look too bad. No major wear. I got no dings or real war spots. Cool. you can tell you're working with a newer engine when there's a freaking QR code on the back. What the heck? There's a number on there. I have no idea what it means. 93703050834. No idea. I have no idea. Everything actually looks so damn clean on this engine. I know you guys aren't going to be able to see in there. Hang on. We can see the rods there. So far everything looks super clean. So what I'm going to do next is show you guys how we change these springs. So I'm going to get the tools prepared for that. You're probably going to see me in a different shirt because it's like 1 a.m. and I've done enough for one night. So if this happens to be a sole video with just the cam removal, guys, keep that classic driving and we'll catch you on the next one.